So when you think of Houston football, you think of that energy, the pride, and that swarming defense, right? And I wanted to capture that spirit, not copy the team, but create something that fans could, wear and represent that same mentality. And I came up with this: We Are the Swarm. And part of this new YouTube pivot is showing you my thought process, how I came up with it, and just the things that were involved in it, the different aspects of it, and let's see how it goes. Now, this design is inspired by the culture around Houston football, but it's not official team merch. My lawyer wanted me to read this, so I'm going to read this. I didn't use any logos, trademarks, or exact phrases from the Texans. They use Swarm City. Mine says, "We are the Swarm." It's a nod to that energy, but it's 100% my own artwork and my own take. So there. Let's move on. All right, so here is the actual graphic that we used. And as you can see, the, "We Are the" is kind of looks like that Constitution font. And I wanted to use that swarm. I came to the Houston Texans website because I did not want to copy anything that they were already doing. And so, I looked at their team shop, I was just looking at, just the things that they were using. And I just wanted to be sure I was not stepping on anybody's toes. But what really caught my eye were like these dashes that are right here. I looked at some of the things that they were doing, and, there really wasn't, to me, there wasn't any real rhyme or reason. The way my brain works, I was like, you know what, maybe I could do something a little bit different. So can you guess what these symbols mean? They actually mean something. It's a little Easter egg. It's Morse code. So what I did, I found this website, that you just put in whatever text and it shoots out what the actual letters are. I use these smaller ones as the dots and these bigger ones as the dashes. And I separated them because I did a little bit of research. I don't know if I did this, perfectly, but it needed, a certain amount of space in between so you know which letters are which. And so I put in Houston on the top. So you can see that this red and this white is the same. But I put Houston, Texas, USA. 4 dots and, the 3 dashes, and it goes all the way to the dot dash, and you'll see that dot dash there. So it says Houston at the top and Houston, Texas, USA on the bottom. And I don't know if anybody even caught that. I don't even know if anybody cares, but that's what I did. And I like it. That's my little Easter egg. And, I like doing little things like that. And, that's it. So that's the shirt that we went with. It was at the very end of the season, and I hated that. I wish I would have done this earlier. Just my brain, the anxiety. Will it sell? Will it not sell? And I was a little scared to post it. I spoke to my brother and I showed him the design. He's like, "Oh, I really like it. My little niece liked it." And I was like, "Man, but I'm afraid to post it because what if they lose tomorrow?" And he's like, "Who cares? Just post it. They can always wear it, next season. Just post it, see what happens." And I did. And it sold. It sold, a pretty good amount. I have a post of, me stacking those shirts up, folding and stacking those up. But, that's the story about the shirt. And, I hope you like this little bit different pivot of a video, showing, what goes into designing a shirt. If you want to show your support for Houston and, your own style, check the link below. Unfortunately, the football season is over. But, I share the same love for, all Houston sports. And you'll find different merch there, also inspired. Not using any logos, but check it out. Support small business, shop small, shop local, and I'll see you on the next one. This design isn't affiliated with or endorsed by the Houston Texans or the NFL. It's an original, fan-made design inspired by Houston culture.